Dear YouTube Nate, hello, it is me, a stranger, and I'm doing my eyeshadow palette declutter, and so is Squid apparently. Hello! I love neutrals. I don't wear that much color, even though I pretend like I do. I don't need that much color in my life, but I do like certain pops of color. Jesus Christ, man. I have too much. I don't like that. And I try to quarterly declutter my everything, my palettes, my clothes, my general makeup, and I think this will be, I don't know, interesting. I always find it interesting to see other people's declutters, even if it's for posterity, and I can watch this when I'm 79 on my hoverboard, then so be it. There are a lot of palettes that are controversially not my favorite, and I'm going to try to use them up a little bit more. I recently saw Hindesh's latest video. It's an Indian bridal tutorial, and he uses a kit pack dual-sided palette for his most used shades in Beautopsy and Monochromance, and I thought that was really beautiful, and the form factor is the size of a Makeup by Mario palette. Hello, hi. And it's just a dual-sided, very small, compact, so each of those kit pack dual-sided palettes fit 2 midis, and with 6 shadows to spare, or if it's the entirety of one one Metropolis palette. So I am looking forward to trying those out with my Natasha Denona palettes, but I'm only giving myself until June to really use them up in this new form factor. Otherwise, I'm going to place them back in their native palettes and then probably either sell them or give them to some of my friends. So that is the plan. Nevertheless, I'm going to go through my Natasha Denona collection, so I let you know exactly where I'm at, and I'm going to put those in a separate pile of stuff that I'm definitely keeping or are really on the chopping block. And honestly, all but one of these Natasha Denona palettes is on the chopping block. So I guess I'll start there. The Biba. Everyone says you have to get the freaking Biba. No, dude. I only use rayon. That's it. And rustic is beautiful. Aside from that, it's just so decidedly warm or cool. And the same honestly goes for the Glam palette. I think that the Glam obviously works for a lot of different skin tones, which is awesome, but it does not work for me. A lot of the silvers are too silver. The mattes are very they're either very decidedly warm, like Blend, or cool, like the crease or transition shade in the first row. I like mid-tones or very nuanced, desaturated colors. That's what works best for my skin tone, and this just does not do it for me. Even the center lid shade that's supposed to be like this beautiful, like ballet pink, it's orange on me. So I'm not a fan, and everybody really hyped this up, and it was very much a FOMO kind of moment. The only 2 shades that I really like are Smoke and also the top outer eyelid. Such stupid naming too. But I don't think that's enough for me to keep this. I mean, I think somebody else will really enjoy this a lot more. I'm going to try with the kit pack palette thing, but if that doesn't really do it for me, I'm going to let this guy go, as well as the Biba. Bang. This fell and cracked, and I'm so sad. It's so sad. It's their Connect and Color line, and this is embedded in burgundy, and this embedded in my bed sheets, so I'm not happy about that. But I have the retro. I'm not going to open this again. I was thinking of repressing this and maybe my mom would get use out of it, but I feel like the formula it's kind of like the Persona ones, the Identity palettes. I think the satins are very comparable. It's really just a satin formula. It's very bridal, as they say, but I'm getting married in September and I'm not going to use this palette, nor will I use the Embedded in Burgundy. This one is Unfiltered Nudes, and I think my mom will honestly really love this. I think the tones are great in this, and honestly, this was one of the first neutral-ish palettes that I really identified on the market, but these just don't really serve me very well, so that also goes with these four. Speaking of neutrals, this is such a cool, no pun intended, palette. This is cool vibes, and I honestly don't feel like it's very extremely cool. There is some warmth in that Stone Cold color, and in comparison with a Makeup by Mario palette, a lot of these tones are very similar. I love the matte formula with the Violet Voss in the Violet Voss palette, and I also really love these really interesting shades. Sub-Zero has this gorgeous like gold undertone. Let me see if you can actually see it. It has like this gold, you can't really see it in this lighting, but it's so beautiful, and it's like oddly celestial. The same with Cool Vibes. I think it's like the night sky. It's so beautiful. It's this gunmetal blackened gray with these beautiful micro glitter like silver particles. This is that bluish gray that everyone is going crazy about in the Makeup by Mario Neutral Mattes palette. I'm returning this. I never return palettes. I only ever return the Blooming Romance, which I swatched on my channel if you want to check out the shorts. And this is the second palette in my life that is going back because it does not work with me. I tried synthetic, I tried natural, I tried different brush techniques, padding, swiping. I tried different primers. I even bought new primers in order to try with this, and nothing works. This fades. I have never had an issue like that, and I can't get down with this. So this is also in the goodbye palette pile. This I love. I also love these like beautiful eggplant shades. I just think this is such a well thought out palette, and it doesn't get its roses. Or keeping this. First keep. Awesome. What I'm not keeping is this. I'm not a fan of this. Again, I love to pretend like I am into blues, and I never wear these. I never wear these. I had this beautiful fantasy that I would wear these blues on my lower lash line to concerts, but I always end up opting for burgundies instead, or burgundy liners, and topping things off with like Space Cowboy or Lithium from the Urban Decay Moondust line. So I think this is a good buy. However, this silver is just so unreal. It's really beautiful, and honestly I might depot this because I don't foresee anybody in my circle really enjoying this. I might depot these last two and put them in a separate palette. So that is also a goodbye. What I'm also saying goodbye to, this is a lot of it's a soft cashmere. I know my mom will really enjoy this. The new formulation just doesn't like my eyes. My eyes don't like the new formulation. It's just bad blood. I am very allergic to this. I don't know why. It's a gorgeous office appropriate quint. This is new look. This is the old formulation. I love this. It's very sultry, and I like the limitations of this palette because it's very much you just slap it on and you have a beautiful eye look. I also love the center shade. I think it's very beautiful, and again, this is more in line with the color that I usually wear. It's more so purples, eggplants, mulberries, that kind of thing. And again, I really like this, and the tones on this are really beautiful. This corner shade is really lovely, and I do also like the top left one. It's very beautiful, and it has just the right amount of sparkle. It's not gaudy, and I just really enjoy this quint. So I'm keeping this. First keep. or I guess second keep with the Violet Voss. Now we are going to the Soft Glam. These oxidize on my skin. I don't know why, and I really loved this last shade, Mulberry, for liners, like I said previously, especially at concerts and stuff. This is a really cool palette, especially with these darker colors. But again, to keep it for one shade, it's not worth it, and I know a friend or two that would really appreciate this. And honestly, I really love this Dusty Rose shade, but I have them in Retro and I Need a Nude and a lot of other palettes, so I'm going to also part ways with this. There you go. That is my goodbye pile, and this is my keep so far. This is definitely a keep. This is more in line with the color, or I guess the rose tones that I like. This is the Remembrance palette by Byredo, and in comparison, this is like the pink rusty color story that I really like. In comparison with Metropolis, you can see the like the neon nature of Metropolis, and I can't really get down with that. It just looks way too stark and saturated on my skin tone. I really enjoy like this little corner. These greens are so good. From like these 4 up, I really like this corner. Aside from that, these oranges are just not. I'm the peanut butter baby when I wear these. And again, this is setting powder. This is not mold. I just really like taking these in into the like living room and just doing my makeup. But all that being said, I think I might let go of the Metropolis. Again, I'm going to give myself a couple of months, but I really foresee that also leaving my collection. I love this though. I think the rose tones are really beautiful, and they're the warm tones that I really appreciate. I also love the colors that are put into this. They're so interesting, and like this beautiful blackened purpley eggplant brown is really lovely. This is such a crazy shade. It has so many different micro glitters in there, and even this lavender gray is really beautiful. So I think this is such a hit. And I also have to say that the Retro, I thought I would use this more. The one thing I really like this for are its singles. I always transplant this nude mauve shade into my I Need a Nude, which is, spoiler alert, one of the Natasha Denona palettes that I'm definitely like not even thinking of parting with. I really like this for the metallics. The swing shade is beautiful on the lower lash line. I thought I was a cream to powder fan, and after a while I'm not into it. I'm not. And it's unfortunate because there are so many beautiful shades in this and also the Metropolis, but I just don't like the formula. I also really like Maud, Vivian, and Andy for their undertones, but again, I have a lot of these similar-ish tones, especially with the lighter shades in the I Need a Nude palette. So I don't foresee myself keeping this, honestly. Helio, Jude are 2 of my favorite metallics, but again, I don't think that I'm going to use the majority of this palette, and I would hate to only segregate these 2 and use them and then just leave the rest completely untouched. So again, I'm going to depot them into kit pack palettes. So we'll see what my usage looks like after that, but I don't think that I'm going to keep this either, which is crazy. This is an obvious keep. I love this so much, and once I finish this, I'm going to return Nude Mauve back into this palette. I'll use for my current use. I love this so much. I think it's so beautiful, and I really like these desaturated tones. And I use this every day. Sheen has a significant dent in it. I'm definitely going to use it on my wedding day as well. And I just really like the romantic, very soft, beautiful color story of this. It has everything that I really need. I'm not too keen on black shadow on my eyes, but I do love a deep, deep dark brown for liner, and I love this. And I also like that they have a fair color, and these are beautiful in the crease. I can't rave enough about this beautiful, beautiful palette, and the metallics are just gorgeous. This Ella shade reminds me so much of the like pinkish mauve color in the Tom Ford Metal Lust quad that was limited edition, and it was so hard to get a hold of. I bought one in Europe when I was there for work, and it unfortunately shattered. But I'm so happy that they included something like this in here because it reminds me so much of that tone, that rosy muted tone. It's very beautiful. I love this. This is a definite keep. These two Hindesh palettes, oh my god, I love them so much. This is my favorite by far matte palette that I have ever tried, and it also is the reason why I'm not even thinking twice about the Makeup by Mario after using it and trying so many times, and my attempts just going so wrong, honestly. These are just beautiful, and they're so inspiring, which is so stupid to say because it's such a boring palette, but I use this every single day. I'm so happy with the blend. It's just so exceptional. And aside from Melt, these are my favorite mattes. I think they're just so lovely, and you can use them everywhere. I use this for contour. I use this in my brows sometimes. I always use these to set specific areas of my face. This is a beautiful blush, and you can also drape it with this color. This I always use in my crease. And this is always my liner. If you can see, there's a significant little hole in the center. I love this, and because I love this so much, I was like, why don't I have this one? This really satisfies every urge that I have to pick up colors, because it's colors but not crazy colors. I know myself after a decades of wearing makeup, or I guess a decade. I'm 30 now, almost 31, and I just don't have that need to get the craziest, most metallic multi-chromes and all that stuff. It just doesn't work for my lifestyle, and I don't feel confident in them. But these are just so soft and beautiful, and of course paired with these neutrals, it's just such a win. And again, it's very inspiring. I think this is just so beautiful. Alexandra Nell recently uploaded I think it was a bridal tutorial, and she blush draped with a Smashbox palette, and I thought I can do that, so I blush draped with these two, and they looked so beautiful. So I just am really happy. I'm over the moon with this, and I'm gonna keep playing with this. And also this, it really it substituted the hole left from me returning the Blooming Romance, because this works for my skin. These like finely milled beautiful powders, this is all I really need in terms of blush or color in my makeup. And although I love these like beautiful velvet pomades that she created, they just don't last on my eyes, and for that reason I can't really justify a purchase where I'm just going to use it on my lips and it's like a $60 palette. I just not my vibe. But these are so beautiful, and they kind of do a similar thing with Groundwork 1 and 2, honestly, and with more color, which is really cool. So far we have two Hindish palettes, this beauty. I mean, I kind of have a type of the boring neutrals. So these 6 I'm keeping, and then this stack so far I'm anticipating getting rid of. And I just have 4 more palettes that I want to talk about. This is a Bespoke Melt palette. I love these. I'm gonna wear these on my wedding day for sure. These are the most reliable mattes you will ever use, and the Natasha Denona cream to powders, they fade on me slightly, not as bad as the Danessa Myricks pomades, and the ABH mattes oxidize, and I look crazy by the end of the day. But these, you apply them and they look exactly the same as they did when you applied them after like 10-12 hours. So I love these. I think these are exceptional. I never had any issues with mold. I completely understand apprehension in purchasing from Melt because of that very, very big issue, but I never had any issues really. The only thing is sometimes I experience hard pan, as you can see in this third pan, but aside from that, I just really love this, and I have a couple more in my singles. I have 2 small palettes of singles, and I have about 3 mattes in that as well to swap out with these, but I love this. I think it's just such a phenomenal formula for her mattes, and or for their mattes. They're both 2 women owners, but I think I don't know, I hope that they get back on track with their palettes, because the last few releases have just been not my vibe, even though they're very inspiring, and of course like one of the very few alt grungy kind of companies to come out with these kinds of color stories. Maybe not this one, but I mean their original Gemini 1 and 2 have been so well loved in the makeup community, so I'm definitely keeping this. All of that being said, the last 3 palettes we have are, this is also a Frankenstein palette. This was an unreleased palette. It's called Grind Time, and I found it on like TJ Maxx or something on the website. And I put a bunch of singles from a few of his other palettes, and I can't consciously wear this knowing how old it is, so I think I'm going to part ways with this as well. This is so surprising to me. It's really an outlier. I didn't think I would like this. I didn't like this on the launch date, and then I saw it in person. I was like, wow, this is so interesting, and it honestly kind of inspiring. Like, these tones alone are so strange and cool together, and I really like some of the shimmers. Like, Shred is really beautiful, and Headbang, and I love the formula. They did such a great job with this formula. I just wish that their newer palettes were more in line with this. I think the color story is not as wild as a lot of other people would appreciate, but I love it. I think it's just colorful enough, and of course I love my neutrals, so even seen, like, it has some warmth to it, which I think is beautiful, and it kind of like reminds me of the formula of Sidecar, which I loved. I was a Sidecar girly. I love that. I used to wear Sidecar and Naked in every single freaking day in high school, but all that to say, very beautiful color story. And finally, we have the gold palette. I much prefer the mattes in this tonally compared to the Biba. These are somehow still warmer in my eyes. Like, these are just orange on me, whereas these, they have a little bit more nuance. This is lovely on my skin tone. Yes, these are warmer, but I somehow find that the mustard works and not like prairie, you know? There's a little more like neutrality in a way, and I just like this a lot more. It's not as vibrant on my skin, and I don't look clownish when I wear this. I also have an olive skin tone, so having these greenish tones is just really right up my alley. And I don't wear this as much as I need to, because I know this is such a sought out palette. Yes. And I just really want to get use out of this, and if I don't, this should go to a better home. I always swap out these different colors with some of these. I really like the bottom row of the Biba and Rayon, and I usually swap out all of these with some of the ones from the gold, but I think I'm going to keep this for the meantime. So all of that being said, I anticipate by June to let go of the majority of my Natasha Denona palettes. Hello again. And I'm probably going to only keep very few shadows, if that, from these Natasha palettes. And this is what I'm keeping for certain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, and I'm letting go of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and this is a return 11. That's not too shabby. I'm happy with that, and I think I'm going to get more use out of these. These are my daily drivers, honestly, the 2 Hindash palettes and the I Need a Nude. And of course, these are more event specific, but I do want to try to use these up a lot more because they're beautiful, and I think with the new kit pack system with a dual palette, or the dual sided palettes, I'm going to be able to have things in a smaller form factor, and it's going to be more accessible in my daily life, so it's not going to be collecting dust in a box somewhere, you know. So that's the scoop. I hope you have a lovely day, stranger, and hopefully I'll record a video about the kit pack transition when all of the palettes arrive, and I'm really excited for that. So for me and Squid, goodbye, have a lovely day, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye.